We're here to do a little bit of planning and catch up in my reading journal. I have never shared this before on my channel, so those of you who are new here and those of you who have been here for a while, this is all new for you. So I used a Smart Planner Co. bullet journal. This cost me, I think, $8 on Amazon, and it's a really good quality paper. And I was looking on there last night to see if I could get another one, and they don't sell on there anymore. So unfortunately, I can't get this anymore. So I am looking for another one because I'd really like to do a giveaway for my channel. I would like to decorate a journal, not necessarily a bullet journal, but a journal, and do it as a giveaway. Like, we could decorate it through the year and you could do what you like with it at the end if you're the winner. So we'll see. I gotta find one that I like that's a good, decent quality. So let's flip through last year. I did the inside cover with some washi tapes that I had, and I really wanted to do black because I love these silver skulls that Shine Sticker Studio did. And I like to put pretty things in my planners because if they're not pretty, I don't really use them. So the first thing I did, good grief. The first thing I did was a series tracker. So there are 3 major series that I read. I need to find more, but this is where I keep track of what I have read, because I've had to start this one over again because I wasn't sure where I stopped. And because it was so long ago, I totally forgot the storyline. So I didn't want to have to do that again unless I really wanted to start it over again. So this is where I keep track of it. And I saved a couple of pages just in case there are more series that I find, but I'm really picky. So, and then I made this little thing, which I thought was pretty. And then this is my to be read list, which is kind of short. I need to update it. I have a list in my phone for in case I'm ever like out and about or talking to somebody, because obviously I don't carry my reading journal everywhere I go. So I need to update my list. And then this, I used to run a book club, and this was the list of books that we picked to read when I started it, but I had to cancel the club until probably this spring when my health kind of stabilizes. So that's those. And then this was my 2023 reading goals. I run a small business, and I don't have a whole lot of time for reading for myself. So I set my goal at 35 and I missed it by 2, and I'm not happy. I separate them by audiobooks, ebooks, and tree books. I don't read a lot of tree books anymore because my eyesight is pretty pathetic. My eyes, with fibromyalgia, it seems to affect my eyes quite a bit. By the end of the day, like, my eyes are shot. So I need to use my eyes for the things I need to do for work. So this becomes, you know, something fun. And if I can read it on the Kindle, that's fine. I didn't read any books on the Kindle last year. I listened to mostly audiobooks. These were the book club questions. If I find a book that the author hasn't already given us questions to use, I use these. And then we go into January. I liked to print up artwork by an artist called Mimi Moo. I don't know her name. I know her first name is Mimi, but I don't know what her last name is. But I like to print up hers to go with that. And in January, I read 2 of the Morganville Vampires and then Surrender by Bono, because I'm an old punk fan. You can't just change that in me. I think this man needs to write more books because he's amazing. And I listened to the audiobook, which he read himself. I highly recommend it for anybody who was a fan of the punk scene or U2 back in the day. And then I read another Morganville Vampires. I like to write down quotes from some of the books that I read. These are all mostly from Bono, because I liked it. And then we moved into February, where I read 4 more books. I really like listening to Harry Potter when I go to sleep. I have to have a book that I've read before, because if not, I'm too invested in the story to go to sleep. Harry Potter I've read a bazillion times, so I already know the stuff that happens in there, so I can fall asleep easily. And then we go to March. This is my own artwork. And I have to tell you, this month, this was such a stinker. Like, I feel bad for Prince Harry. He was born into a life that I know I couldn't handle. But another part of me feels like, you know, go cry in a bag of money somewhere. And then April comes, and I read nothing. I don't know what was going on in April, but I just couldn't focus. I couldn't see very well. And I cannot read books without them. Then we go to May. This was read by Joe Mantegna. I've read this book like a million times, and I really liked it, read by him. He did a really good job. My favorite quote by Barack Obama: "When all Americans are treated as equal, no matter who they are or whom they love, we are all more free." Truth, people. And don't come at me in the comments, because seriously, I'm not about that. June, I read 3 books. This one was okay. Not the greatest, but okay. I read Dracula in my email. There's a website called Dracula Daily, and it will break up the parts of Dracula because it's written in like diary form, and it will send you the parts that are written on specific dates so you can read it in the chronological order, not the way the author actually wrote it. This month, all I managed to read was Harry Potter. Then August came, and I read these 3 books. I've read this book a million times too. We just go for the things that we look for as comfort, right? This was a really good book. This was our book club pick. It was a good one. And I love this artwork. I don't know who it's by. I saw it on the internet. I had to put it in there. And then September, all I managed to read was Sinead O'Connor's autobiography, Rememberings, and it was also read by her. And I took so many quotes out of this. Because honestly, like I said, I loved punk music when I was a kid. And I watched the Saturday Night Live performance that she had the night that she did it. And didn't understand, you know, my family wasn't Catholic, so I didn't understand what she was doing. And I honestly, I feel for this woman. I really, really feel for her. And I really think if people understood why she did what she did, they wouldn't have given her so much grief. But in true punk fashion, she also didn't give a crap. So October, I read 1 book. And I'm not happy with how little reading I'm getting done this year. Because if I had read more than 1 book, or not taken April off, I would have made my goal. This was a cute book, The Witches of Moonshine Manor. It was, I don't know, it was a really light read. Like, you don't, like, these are, Katie, go bark downstairs. Don't bark here. This was light reading. These ones, they take a little more brain power. You got to pay attention to details. This wasn't like that. And I really enjoyed it, and I went through it really quickly. And then we get to December, and I read 2 books. And this book, oh my goodness. Get the tissues. I could only read it in short bursts because it was just so very touching, and it made me question all sorts of things that I believe. It's a really good book. It really, really is. She's an RN hospice nurse. That she's been working as a hospice nurse for 20 years. And these are some of the stories that she shared about people who are at the end of their life, and it's just amazing. It really is. Then we get to here, which I was going to do with you guys, my 2023 year in review. Now, I am nerdy. I am not even going to tell you that I'm not. But I thought this would be cute to see how many hours that I listened to audiobooks And I listen on a pair of headphones because I cannot stand things in my ear. It's just, no. No, no, no. I spent 394.5 hours of my life listening to audiobooks this year. Which, you know, for some people, that's not that much because, like I said, I've only read 35 books this year. But given the limits that I have, I think that's pretty impressive. So I wanted to write that down. I've only read so many, I think 3 or 4 tree books, so I've only spent 1,747 pages reading. And I'm using my Tombow black marker and my Papermate Flare because I want the numbers to be a little more bold than the writing, so they stick out a little bit more. And like some of the doodles, I don't really want them to stick out more than the numbers because I think it's fun. And I'm hoping to do this again next year, but I wanted to make it a little easier on myself next year, and I'll show you how I'm going to do that. Because I had to look up every single book in my list because this didn't occur to me to do until the end of the year. So I'm going to make it easier on myself for next year, so I don't have to look them all up. And I don't know if I should color in the book, but I'm going to leave it black for right now. Because, I don't know. Kind of don't want it to be the center of the page. Because I didn't do a doodle for all of them, you know. I'm going to do the numbers while I have this out so I don't have to keep going back and forth. So the washi tape just came from my stash. I have no idea where I got that from. And these were PE tape from the washi tape shop, which I thought were really pretty and went together nicely. And I decorated them for Christmas because it's the end of the year and I don't get to use Christmas but for one month a year. And I've got some Christmas tape that needs used up, so why not? I'm thinking about adding more stickers to this page because it is a little naked. I don't know. We'll have to see. 33 total books for the year. There was a time when I could read between 50 and 100. My goal is to get up to at least 50 a year. That's one book a week with a couple of weeks off. I don't think that's too shabby. So 2 months this year I didn't read even one book, and I would have made my goal if I had. So I think that is the one thing I wanted to write in here to remember why I didn't make that goal. But I'm not going to be hard on myself because I only missed it by 2 books. That's not too shabby. Not too shabby at all. And here it is, the 3rd of January, and I've already read 1 book this year. So I'm off to a banging start, right? Oh, if only I could read a book every 3 days, that would be awesome. Because seriously, I'm going to be sad if I die and I've still got books on my to-be-read list. Boo. Who'll read them for me? I'm a sucker for a story. Like, seriously. I don't want to do anything but listen to a good story. It's my one guilty pleasure. Well, who am I kidding? Stickers and planners are also a guilty pleasure, but we're not going to talk about that. We're just going to pretend like it doesn't exist, right? My bank account wishes I don't, but, you know, sorry bank account, but I don't live to make you happy. I pay my bills and take care of my family, and then I buy stickers or art supplies. Okay, then I'm going to go back and erase the pencil on here. I might add more stickers because now that I look at it, it does look kind of naked. I'll have to check later. Alright, moving on. I got this little map, and it was from Jashi Curran. You could buy it. She sells it. I think it's in the video that she talks about her new reading journal. She drew this little map, and I love it because it's like Enemies Ridge, the edits, Indie Isle, Why Choose, A Happy Ending, Self-Pub Forest, Fairy Trails, Book Talk Vortex, The Forbidden Library, The All-Nighter Rift, Booktube Bay, The Faded Mates, Grumpy, My Emotions, The Slow Burn Crater, Plot Hole Swamp, The Needless Exposition Island. It's a lot of really cute stuff. I really liked it, and I thought I'd put it in there because it was cute. Then I loved this quote. Each new year we have before us a brand new book containing 365 blank pages. Let us fill them with all the forgotten things from last year. The words we forgot to say, the love we forgot to show, and the charity we forgot to offer. And then I added this little art from my shop. I don't have it for sale. It's just something I drew and I thought was cute. And then we get to my reading goals. And I made it 35 again, but I made room for more. And I already read one ebook. And what I'm doing is I put the numbers down so I don't have to keep counting how many I have. But I'm also putting the page numbers, or if it's an audiobook, the amount of time, that listening time there is. So I wanted to do this to make my life easier at the end of the year. Then I decided to do the one thing I never do, which is rate my books. And I didn't rate my books before because I felt like it was super arbitrary and depended upon like the mood I was in at the time. But then I watched a video by a YouTuber called Book Roast, and she does the call pile system that she created. Call pile stands for character, atmosphere, writing style, plot, intrigue, logic, and enjoyment. And if you want to, go ahead and pause your screens here, take a screenshot so you can see basically what it is. You give your book a rating based on these here. 0 to 3 is poor, 4 to 6 is mediocre, 7 to 9 really good, 10 you loved it. And then you add all of those up and divide by 7, and it gives you a point range. So then you know how many stars to give a book. I thought this was a really neat system, and I wanted to do it again because sometimes I forget how much I liked a book, or if I only kind of liked a book, and do I want to reread it. And I really only want to reread maybe the 4s, but definitely the 5s, because I am a big book rereader. And sometimes I reread a book, I'm like, oh, why did I do that? It was a real stinker. Well, I'm hoping to avoid that by using this system this year. And then we go into January. A writer only begins a book, a reader finishes it. And my very first book was A Chaotic Guide to Mental Clarity. Your Head is a Houseboat. It's really cute, and it's a really neat way to look at how things go in your brain. I was hoping it would be a little more useful as far as learning how to journal for mental clarity. It kind of is, kind of isn't, but it's definitely worth a read. So if you're into that kind of thing, look it up. Alrighty, that is all that I have to say. We can come back and I will decorate February with you when it's time. But this is not something I'm going to be sharing constantly on this channel, maybe once a month. But for those of you interested, this is what it looks like for me. And if you liked what you saw, could you please give me a like, a subscribe, and hit that bell icon so you get notified when I do more. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.